Shalom and welcome to another installment of Elders of GMS. This is Elders of GMS on location, and we're at the Cloisters Museum and Castle, which is right behind us. We just found this area right here to do the filming. Hopefully nobody, bothers us or anything like that, but, it's all through the spirit. But anyway, the name of this the topic of this show is entitled Syria One Step Closer to World War III. And I'm going to pass it to the elders.
All right. Anybody got it? All right. So basically, like Elder Tar just said, Syria one step closer to World War III, because that's pretty much what we want. Well, that's what the Lord wants, but we want also, because when the Lord's prophecies are fulfilled, then the end will come. So right now there's a situation going on out there in Syria, where the American military, through the international bankers, they set up this fake false flag where they use chemical weapons on the citizens of Syria, and basically they blamed it on the Syrian government, that the Syrian government did it. But now the reason why they did that is because that will justify them, the American troops and other troops, to go up into that land of Syria and take over, because there's certain things that's going on in Syria that these devils want to get their hands on, outside of resources and all that. There's different, it's a strategic spot. There's pipelines and different other things that are being planned for that land, in the coming months, or we're in the midst of it right now, where they want to get a stronghold into the land of Syria, so they can, take over that, so that the American dollar doesn't lose its grip. Because basically right now, they call it the petrodollar, which is the money to pay for the dollar that's used to pay for gasoline and oil and all that. And once they lose that stronghold, that's it for the dollar. The dollar's going the way of the Weimar Republic.
Yeah, because the Federal Reserve note is supposed to be the world reserve currency, but really it's the petrodollar. That dollar is made strong through oil around the world. So there's a pipeline that the U.S. and I guess Great Britain wanted to control, which Syria, Assad didn't want to go with that deal. So basically they turned them into an enemy. This is going back like 2 years ago, and they basically got a bunch of Al-Qaeda terrorists, which are not, set up by the CIA, to go up in there and try to take them out of office, take them out of power, set up a new order. And it hasn't worked in 2 years, so now the U.S. is looking to get in there and send in the troops, because that's what they're ultimately going to do. And they're doing it over oil, over gas, over this pipeline, over control of that region. And, you have Monday night, by the way, today's date is September 7th, 2013, September 9th, I believe, Barack Obama, the puppet president, he's going before Congress to try to get the Congress to chime in and go with this plan to go into Syria and bring a strike against it. But it's going to wind up being that they're going to have boots on the ground. And the reason why this is happening, because this is all Bible prophecy anyway. The Most High is just luring them in. And the so-called Jews over there in Israel, they're a part of that too. Give me that in Jeremiah 49. I believe that's around the 21st, 22nd verse, around there, 23rd verse. It says the least of them, the least of the flock. Go ahead.
This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them.
Yeah, the least of the flock of Edom, represent them so-called Jews, which the Rothschilds are so-called claim to be Jews, but they're actually Edomites. And from certain documents that I have read and other elders have read, that they even know that they're the Edomites. That's why when you put in the word Esau, you misspell the word Esau, it'll come up and it won't spell it correctly to mean Esau. And it's really hard to find any information on Esau. They give you limited information. If you go to Google, if you go to Wikipedia, you know, if you go to any encyclopedia, especially dealing on the web, and you put in the word Esau, Edom, they'll give you the story of Edom and they'll give you the story of Esau, but they won't tell you who they are today. And you have certain scholars, false scholars, that say that Edom was done away with so many hundreds of years ago, or 2,000 years ago. But they don't tell you when were they done away with, how they were done away with, who did away with them. They don't give you that. They don't give you that history. But we found out through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai and the teachers over us who the Edomites are. The Edomites are you so-called white people. You are the Edomites. And you're just fulfilling prophecy. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. And that whole situation with the oil over there in that region in the Middle East is nothing but a plan that the Most High set you up to do. And then even there's a plan, and you got the document on the Mazzini Pike plan, and I'm gonna have the elder read that, and it tells you there's three. It says here, the First World War must be brought about in order to permit the Illuminati. Well, I'm gonna let you read that. But anyway, the First World War, we know the history on that. That was mainly in Europe, right? The Second World War was also started through Germany, Hitler, during his regime. And then the Third World War, it tells you that this Third World War is going to take place by the skirmishes over there in the Middle East with the so-called Jews and America. But that's going to be their, that's going to turn out to be their destruction, because they're setting up this Third World War to set up a new world order. But it's going to backfire on them. Give me that in Job 20, around about the 20th verse. And I'm going to have the elder read that. He's going to read all three wars, which is known as the Albert Pike, the Pike Mazzini blueprint for the three world wars. They know that's not going to, they don't mention anything about a fourth world war, because there's not going to be a fourth world war. Okay? It says Albert Pike's 1871 plan for the three world wars. Okay? Go ahead, Art.
This is Job chapter 20, verse 20. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits.
Yeah, the fullness of the illuminated one's sufficiency, they're gonna run into problems. Just like this situation, and we also have documents on that. We also have documents that all these different states, these different countries rather, their prime ministers, their presidents, they're dead set against Barack Obama going to war or sending troops or attacking Syria. As a matter of fact, they had a gathering of the G20, all right? And what was that? Somewhere in Europe. My memory escapes me. But anyway, St. Petersburg, Russia. It was in Russia. Thank you. And they had showed the G20 nations representatives, which were the prime ministers, their presidents, all together, and they had showed a video of Barack Obama walking by himself. And that's symbolic of the fact that they're not with that thing.
Right. They're not backing him.
They're not backing him. They're not backing him. And that's in these documents that we're going to read. Okay, that we're going to go through. But I want you to read this real quick.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, This is Albert Pike's 1871 plan for the 3 world wars. The First World War, well, let me start at the top here. In 1871, Albert Pike envisioned 3 world wars to be followed by an unparalleled economic disaster. Pike's plans have come to fruition, shockingly on target. Who is Pike? And perhaps more importantly, who backed Pike? Albert Pike's letter to Mazzini dated August 15, 1871. The First World War must be brought about in order to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the power of the Tsars in Russia and of making that country a fortress of atheistic communism.
Well, can I say something on that too? That was also set up. Eustace Mullins brought that out. The Rothschilds was behind that, the downtake of the Tsar, because Tsar Nicholas, they wanted the riches, man. Tsar Nicholas, was it Tsar Nicholas the Third?
I think it was
The second. Tsar Nicholas, that's right, his son would have been the third, which he was which the Tsar had children, which they murdered the Tsar and his children by way of the Bolshevik Party, which the Bolshevik Party was communism. That's when they established that communism. That proves communism is set up by the Illuminati and democracy is all set up by the Illuminati. But the Rothschilds, starting with the Rothschilds, they had a plan. They said, look, man, we want to take down, they wanted to take down the final aristocracies of the world, those royal families, which Tsar Nicholas II, which Elder Tahar brought this out, their line went back. The Tsars, he had to be a Jake, he had to be an Israelite, because their line went back to the old ancient Russian aristocracies, man, or the royal ruling families. They had to take out of power the last remaining line of Israel that was ruling in the earth and get the riches. That was why their plan was to kill the Tsar, take his gold, and set up the Bolshevik Party, which brought forth, which was the father of communism. So that was all a part of that. And then also, too, they wanted that money. They wanted the Tsar's gold and the riches to stockpile everything to themselves, man. So that all took place right around that time, the turn of the century, early 1900s, which is when World War I came into being. So that was all a part of that grand plan of the Rothschilds, man.
Yep. Of making that country a fortress of atheistic communism. The divergencies caused by the agents of the Illuminati between the British and Germanic empires will be used to foment this war. At the end of the war, communism will be built and used in order to destroy the other governments in order to weaken the religions.
Right. Can we say this too? And the main thing that was used for too was basically to destroy the validity of the Bible. They've been trying to do that. That's why they set up communism, which they call it atheistic communism, which is atheist means not God. You know, so basically when they set that up, it was basically to destroy not just religion, because religion is man-made, but really to try to destroy the validity of the Bible. You know, by making the people get so frustrated with religion and with the Bible that they'll turn to something else.
That's right, and that same thing, that same plan, which I don't want to jump ahead because it goes into World War II. That same plan went down. They used that same blueprint in World War II with Hitler, with the burning of the books. When Hitler set up the Nazi Party, Hitler deemed that which that was a trial run for World War III, or setting up that New World Order. Hitler deemed that the state pretty much was God. So Hitler, he outlawed religions, and he burnt the books, starting with the Bible. That was one of the books that Hitler was burning, man.
It says the Second World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences between the fascists and the political Zionists.
Yeah, the so-called Nazis, they're considered fascists. They were considered the fascists.
This war must be brought about so that Nazism is destroyed and that the political Zionism be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel and Palestine.
Yeah, that was all set up to get them so-called Jews into owning the land of Israel, pretty much to validate themselves as being the real Israelites and the real Jews. That's what World War II was all about, man. Which the Rothschilds, who are so-called Jews, really Amalekites from the nation of Esau, Edomites, man. That's what that was all about. It was all a grand plan for these devils, the so-called Jew, the Amalekites or the Amalekites, to set themselves up on the earth or validate themselves as being the Lord's chosen people.
During the Second World War, international communism must become strong enough in order to balance Christendom, which would be then restrained and held in check until the time when we would need it for the final social cataclysm.
That new world order.
Yep. The last one is the Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of Islamic world.
That's right, the Middle East. So they was planning from back then. Back in 1871, Albert Pike already had the plan that, okay, the Third World War, by the time we get around to that, we're going to go over there in the middle. Because they already knew that the resources were over there, but they didn't have the technology and things to go over there and mess with them at that time. But they knew at some point that they would. They said, them Arabs over there in the Middle East, that's where we're going to base this so-called blueprint for our Third World War. We're going to go over there messing with them Arabs and go after the oil and go after their so-called way of life, their religion. And that's going to be, which really they don't give a damn about nothing, but that is a blueprint or a catalyst for them to set up this Third World War, so in turn they can set up this new world order, man.
Right, which was in line with the prophecies. Right, it was prophesied that was going to happen. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 9, verse 12. It says, one woe is past.
That was the First World War, prophesied in the scripture. So these devils, really, Albert Pike, Esau, everything Esau do, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah puts it in their mind to do. Albert Pike didn't come up with that. The Lord put the Most High, gave him that knowledge to do that, man. It was the Most High. So that's why the scripture says, Esau, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, but the Most High got you in a trick bag. You Edomites, man. He gave you the knowledge for your own destruction, man.
It's probably got a
It's Job 33:15. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction.
That's right. It was the Most High that gave Albert Pike the idea, the instruction to set up this blueprint for these 3 world wars. So what the Most High did was give Esau the instruction for his own destruction. Okay.
It says that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man.
That's right, man. So the Lord is the one. It wasn't Esau that came up with this. So you Illuminati members that's watching this, you elites, which you're not the elites. You're not even the real, man. We're the elites, man. We're the real elites. You ain't the elites. I ain't gonna call you that no more. You devils, man. Because you're looking at the elites, the elect of Israel, man. With Lord willing, we be of the elect. But like, you got to be like Paul. I am confident in the hope that I might be saved. So I don't know. We don't know if we definitely of the elect, but you got to have the attitude that you are, man.
Our nation is the elite. Our nation is the elite.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Like Elder Don just said, not like the 14th Street homo. He probably ain't come out today. It's a little nippy, man. And it's going to get cold when the sun go down. Last night was kind of cold. So it's going to get cold tonight. You have to put a jacket on, so he ain't coming out there today, man.
Yeah, man. Reading on, it says, by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world, the war must be conducted in such a way that...
Well, they're about to go into Syria. They went into Afghanistan. They went into Iraq. They was threatening to go into Iran, but they never did. But eventually they are going to go in there. Once they go into Syria, that's going to open the door. They're going to go into Iran too. Salakia, brother. They're going to go into Iran.
The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists. We shall provoke formidable social cataclysm.
You know how that's set up? That's set up by way of agent provocateurs, man. You got them all over the world. These are agents, actual agents that work for these so-called bankers, these so-called elites that they send around the earth like little goddamn minions to create certain situations, man. Okay.
Well, that's what happened over there in Syria. And Putin at the G20, he called them out on it. He said pretty much wasn't the Syrian regime that used the chemical warfare. He said it was provocateurs from the rebellion. So that showed you that the Illuminati set it up anyway. You know,
that's right. That's what the Bolsheviks were, man. The leaders of the Bolshevik party were nothing but agent provocateurs set up. Martin Luther King was an agent provocateur. They just recently had the anniversary of the civil rights, and then I'm gonna say something too. All you brothers out there that's watching this, y'all need to go see that movie, The Butler, with Forrest Whitaker and Oprah Winfrey. That's a damn good movie to go see. It shows you a lot, man. Okay. And it shows you, man, pretty much in that movie, that dude Martin Luther King was a damn snake. He was an agent provocateur, man. He was set up to have them jakes go out there too. But that's all a part of this plan too, that whole civil rights movement. They used that too as a way to bring in this faggot shit, man. Civil rights. Non-violent. And then in the movie they brought out that dude, the part when they in the movie, you got to see the movie. There's a scene where the son, Forrest Whitaker's son, went to college, and when he went to college, that's when he met his girlfriend, and they went into this little like underground type classroom, and they had this guy look like a Huey Newton looking type nigga. Yeah, so-called Jew, but he probably was a tear or something. But he had a priest collar on. He was teaching them. Look, that dude was an agent provocateur, man. They sent him out, and that was the breeding ground for the Illuminati and them colleges, man. Back in the 60s, in the 50s, and all that, they sent him out there to invoke them niggas and then them stupid peon crackers to go on them the sit-ins. You going to, and then he told them in the movie, he's like, yeah, you got to do this. He was training them how to deal with when they go to sit in the white area. Because at that time, that's when segregation was strong in the South and get their ass beat. And then he told them, look, you can be killed. You can be killed. Yep. If you can't deal with that, that's the door. And them dumb niggas actually went for that, man. But Martin Luther King was a main component of that. Having water, man. That's why the Lord killed them, man.
Yeah, that's why in the scriptures it says about Jerusalem, why seekest thou to trim thy ways? Yeah. Yeah, you'll do, matter of fact, the brother's going to bring it out. You so-called Negroes, you'll do almost anything to get right next to your slave master. So-called white man. And like he said in that movie, they showed you an example of that.
This is Jeremiah.
Yeah, man, why the hell? And then you get mad, man, when you watch the man. Well, and another thing, brothers, that movie shows you that these white people are nothing but goddamn devils, man. They're nothing but devils. The movie showed you the white man is the devil and that there's no good white people, man. The movie shows you that, man.
And the only time they accept you is when you're serving them or when you're entertaining them. All right? They will never accept you as equals. Forget about that. The only time you're accepted, and in a hypocritical fashion, by the way, is if you're serving them devils or if you're entertaining them.
The movie show you that. Yeah. Because all them presidents, and the movie show you all them presidents were devils. Yeah. They loved Whitaker, right? What was his name in the movie? Cecil?
His real name was Eugene Allen. That was his real name. But I forgot the name. Cecil Turtle.
It was his name in the movie.
It might as well be.
Yeah, it might as well be Cecil Turtle. Yeah. But that was the name they gave you for the movie. But his real name, because I Googled it, it's worth a Google. His real name is Eugene Allen. And he only had one son, by the way. In the movie, he showed you two sons. He only had one son. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeremiah 2:33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Wherefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways?
Yeah, man. In other words, man, why trimmest? Your ways are to be against the so-called white man. Your ways are to be over these Edomites. But you niggas are talking about, well, look, we're not going to hate these white people and the other nations because we want to be with them. That's why them niggas in the civil rights movement was getting killed, getting lynched, getting their ass kicked at some damn lunch counter because you want to sit at the lunch counter with the white man.
Yeah.
Why you want to be around these devils?
Yeah. Going back to the article, it says, "We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm, which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil."
That's right. That's why if you look at TV, man, I look at a lot of them programs, Biography Channel, History Channel, they got all these new programs now where they're really pushing that, what's that, man, evolution. Atheism is a non-belief in the Most High. They pushing that, the theories of evolution, free thinkers, Scientology. And then they got other programs trying to debunk the Bible, homosexuality. They got the shows, the secrets of the Bible revealed. I was watching, and pretty much it's a program trying to debunk all the miracles that you read about in the scriptures. What really caused the Red Sea to part? It wasn't miraculous. It was just at that time of the day the sea part. This white man's the devil, but that was all a part of the plan. That's why they're making these programs like that. Atheism, which is the non-belief in the Most High.
Then everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilization and the multitude disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, which is what we're heading to right now. That's why Yahushua made a statement. He said, "When I come, shall I find faith on the earth?" Because so many things are going to happen, and even you weak-minded GMS members, you're going to get caught up in this ball of confusion, because that's what's coming, man. More and more confusion. All right. That's why the Lord set us up to be your elders, and through the Spirit, you're supposed to listen to us, man. The Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, is dealing with us to deal with you. But a lot of you're growing. Some of you are growing disgruntled or disillusioned, disenchanted, even with GMS. Yeah. Because you came in. By the way, you came in with the wrong attitude anyway. You know. Who's did? Yeah.
I had to bring this out since you mentioned that. There's an order. The Most High set up an order. We're the elders, all right? You got a lot of you guys. You came into this thing 2, 3, 4 years, and then behind closed doors, you calling yourself elders, man. Yep. A lot of you guys that do that, the Most High gonna get you out of GMS, man. Okay. I'm gonna read this. It says, Hebrews 13 and 17. It says, "Obey them that have the rule over you." We have the rule over you, all right? And I don't want to sound, I don't want to sound like Lahab, you know, but we have the rule over you, all right? Hold that, brother. Hold that to my mouth. Hold it. All right. That's all right. And then we're going to get back into this main topic, all right? It says, "Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourself, for they watch for your souls, as they must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you." In other words, what does it mean when we watch for your souls? When we do the shows and we tell you that the mark of the mark of the beast is a chip, other than saying, "Oh, that's Christianity and that's sin," or that's an embargo. When we teach you that the mark of the beast is a chip, that's out of love. All right. It says. For they watch for your souls. How do we watch for your souls? By breaking down the scriptures to you the right way. That's right. Okay? That's right. You don't take the chip. So you don't take the chip. Yeah, and there's many other things. And we teach you the name of the Most High Yahweh and his son's name, Yahweh Shai. Like there's this one video that these niggas, they used to be down with the One West situation back in the days in the 90s. Guy named Mashaba. And another guy, he's living in Guatemala, I think it is. Kawakab. All right? And they got a TV show with this guy, the main guy, look like the singer. What's that glorified lounge piano player? He looked like John Legend with a Hebrew Israelite garment on. Yeah. And I ain't never seen that. Where did that nigga come from, right? All right? And basically, there's a new thing right now. Because of the fact that GMS is known for being so deep and going deep into the scriptures, it's a new thing. Now you're too deep. You know, now you're going into too many things. And then Mashaba, nigga, you look like Methuselah, brother. All right? You look old as hell, brother. You age, man. But anyway, he basically, what did he say? He said that basically knowledge puffeth up and but love edifieth. So he's trying to imply that that if you got too much knowledge, that you puffed up. And then Kawakab called from down South America, all right? And basically what they're saying in that video is that, look, we don't even know the name of the Most High and his son's name. So the Most High took that away from you, man. That's another new trend. The new trend now is it's all about love. And you don't have to know all the scriptures, all right? And, we don't even know what the name of the Most High is. So we're going to stick with the name of the Most High and his son's name. We know his name through Ariyah at the elders of the old school. Okay?
That's right.
And then we got to go back
and get right into the topic. But since the backup with the elder Todd just brought out, is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 11. It's verse 12. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of the Most High, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of the Most High.
Yeah, one of them is his name. One of the things freely given is the main thing, is his name. Well, let's go back to our forefather Moses. What's the first thing that the Lord asked Moses? Moses asked the Lord, what is your name? That's right. And did the Lord get mad and say, well, how dare you ask for my name? No, the Lord freely gave it to him. All right?
Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Spirit teacheth.
That's right. The Holy Spirit gave Ariyah the name. Ariyah and Mashah the name, man. It was the Spirit of the Lord. Because you guys will say, yeah, well, Mo and Ariyah. Mo is Mashah, King Mashah is dead. Or no, well, y'all don't call him King Mashah. Mashah is dead, and Ariyah is went off. Right? Sold out to Ariyah, sold out to Comfy, but that don't mean nothing. Ariyah taught us the truth through the Spirit of the Lord that was on him at that time.
Some scriptures that you getting, that you reading, that Nate is reading, and the way he's breaking down the scriptures, all those breakdowns are ones that you don't go off on. You got it from the main school. You didn't figure that shit out, and all you guys all agree about the 12 tribes. Well, guess what? Don't teach about the 12 tribes no more.
That's right.
Okay?
Because that came from Ariyah.
Because that came from Ariyah. You teaching that the Ephraim is a Puerto Rican, represent the Puerto Ricans. Judah represent the Negroes. Issachar, Benjamin represent the West Indians. Where'd you get that? Did the Spirit come to you and tell you that? No, nigga. It was Ariyah that taught you, all right? That's why we believe that Ariyah gonna come out of that crap, man. Yeah. Okay, now we're going off, but we're gonna go back into the topic, okay?
Right. Yeah. Those guys are the guys that those are the foolish virgins that lost the oil.
That's right.
That's who you guys are.
That's right. You lost that oil, man. Or you never had the oil. Because when it was time to trim the lamps, which is now in this time, 2,000 years later, you went to flick and trim your lamp, and the fire didn't come on. But the fire is on us.
That's right, man.
Okay?
That's right.
So you trying to get that oil, you ain't got it. Because we got the oil, and we can't stop and give you my oil, man.
No, that's right.
Okay? That's why a lot of you guys, we got a saying in GMS, this guy ran out of gas. Yeah. That guy ran out of, like Yashawan. Yep. He ran out of gas. Yep. Lahab, you ran out of gas. Yeshaya, you ran out of gas. Yep. All right, Gazak, you ran out of gas. Yep. Shekaiah, Yun. Ramayallah, all you guys ran, and you watch us, man. You watch us. Yeah. You ran out of gas, man, because you never had Robert Jones, Ezekiel. You ran out of gas because you never had gas back then. All you guys were doing. You should all be invited to the Academy Awards in February, and each of y'all get a what do you call that? Achievement. What do you call that? A lifetime achievement award for that bullshit thing that act that you put up for so many years. That was just an act.
That's right. Going back to the article, it says, Then everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude disillusioned with Christianity, and you part of that multitude, you guys that fell off. You ran out of gas.
14th Street Israelite, you never had it, man.
Oh, he was just running on ether. The multitude, he was running on vapors. The multitude disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction. Which, yeah, like the brother Elder Menadzak said, you're going to take that chip because you won't have no compass or direction. Anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer. And that chip is part of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, all right?
Hey, I like that, man. I'm going to have to use that, man. And like, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some of their alumni. Johanna, all right? Nate, Lahab, he's gone. He's dead. He's actually dead. He's in the ground. He's dead. He's dead spiritually and physically. He's gone, man. All right. He's in the old folks home, man. He's getting fed. He getting fed cold oatmeal. All right. Hey, but what you just said, I lost my train of thought. Pure Luciferian doctrine, the pure doctrine of Lucifer. All you guys are sold out. All right. Bubble-eyed Blackfish, Degenerate Johanna, Nate, all you guys are sold out, man, and you keep pushing that nonsense and you're defying the true men of the Lord, all right? You have received the pure, what is it called?
The pure doctrine.
The pure doctrine of Lucifer, all right? And that's the new thing, the new vibration that we're going to put out. All you guys have received the pure or the unpure doctrine of Lucifer.
Yeah, I might do a mailbag on that. Yeah. The pure doctrine of Lucifer. The unpure doctrine of Lucifer. Yeah, can. The unpure doctrine of Lucifer. Will receive the true light, unpure light, through the universal manifestation of the unpure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. The manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. And that also equals martial law, because during the program of martial law, that's what they want to destroy, so-called Christianity and so-called atheism. In other words, your alliance and your belief is to the state.
Can I say this? And if y'all got scriptures, you can bring them out. Another thing, you got a lot of these guys. You got some guys that are following us. You got some guys that are following Degenerate Johanna. You got some guys that are following Nate. You got some guys that are following Bubble-eyed Blackfish. And when all these prophecies come to pass, all right, and it could be the end of this year into 2014, you guys are going to have a lot of questions for your so-called teachers and your leaders. All right, and then you're going to compare us with them, especially when the mark of the beast comes. All right, then you're going to put everything together, and then you're going to ask your leaders, and they ain't going to have no answers for you, man. And then you're going to try to come with us, and we're going to give you the hand. Okay, we're going to basically say we ain't got no oil for you, man. That's the fulfillment of Matthew's 25th chapter, man.
I got a quick precept.
Go ahead, Ak.
This is Proverbs 21:20. There is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up.
And that's plain. That's plain, man. But anyway, we finished that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Now let's go to this right here. Okay, these are basically headlines. You can read into it if you want. But basically, these are little snippets of news articles. Well, you actually have the articles of these different nations that are part of the G20 that clearly are not down with this attack on Syria. So I'm going to have the elder read through that, and we're going to expound upon it. Start from
All right, now it says G20 Syria divide. World's largest nations speak out against U.S.-led strike. As leaders of countries making up half of the world's population firmly oppose military action against Syria without a UN mandate, the U.S. kept pushing for a strike, claiming that many countries represented at the G20 summit were comfortable with it. Although discussion of the Syrian conflict was never officially on the G20 agenda, world leaders used their statements and speeches to outline their stance on a possible U.S.-led military strike, notice it says U.S.-led, military strike against the government of Syria, President Bashar Assad. Russian President Vladimir Putin has dismissed the notion that there was a 50-50 split of opinion on the issue, alluding that leaders of the majority of the world's largest economies clearly stated their opposition to military intervention in Syria. Russia, China, India, Indonesia, Argentina, Brazil, and South Africa were among the countries that openly spoke out against military action not authorized by the UN Security Council, Putin revealed. Putin himself said that he believes the alleged chemical weapons attack was nothing more than a provocation on behalf of the armed insurgents in hope of the help from the outside from the countries which supported them from day one. President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, at a news conference on the outcome of G20 leaders summit. It's just a picture that they show here. That was the caption of the picture. Reading on, it says, taking a stand against the U.S.-led strike. During his closing speech at the G20 summit, the Russian president pointed out that the world's most populous Muslim majority nation, Indonesia, was among those categorically opposed to a strike against Syria. Indonesia has been calling on the international community to refrain from extrajudicial justice on Syria and to wait until UN investigators publish the results of their work. Indonesia's stance is clear. President Yudhoyono has said that while affirming that the use of chemical weapons against its innocent civilians cannot be accepted, we need to ensure who actually carried out the attacks. In this sense, we should wait for the UN's inspection team to announce the result of its investigation. Indonesian Foreign Minister Marty Gawa said in a statement published on President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono official website. Bambang. International responses should not lead to more and worse humanitarian problems. The misery of the Syrian people has been too long, and we need to ensure there is no military approach used, but instead peaceful diplomatic measures must be utilized to settle the problems, Natali Jawa added.
Yeah, and you gotta understand that all these nations, see, now that you got the internet, there's so much information going out through these WikiLeaks and all this stuff, that all these nations are starting to wake up to the tactics of this devil here in America, the way he operates, the excuses he uses to bring war or to bring a strike or an invasion upon a certain country. So people they're starting to wake up, and they're like, look, man, nah, we ain't having that anymore. You know, but these devils are so proud, and the Spirit of the Lord is really was driving them to do these things, really to bring about their destruction. That's got a quick precept. This is the book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 5. It says, behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. So now, you know, when a woman wears a skirt, and you pull a skirt up, you could see, you know, her goodies, so to speak. You know, so right now, the Lord is pulling the skirt up on America, and the world is seeing America's nakedness. They're seeing all the wickedness and all the different things that these devils have been doing for the longest, and their tactics. and they're pretty much exposing them. So all these people, all these nations are building up more and more hate for this devil, even their own cracker kind. You know, these so-called other European countries that are backing them right now, they're even coming against them. You know, and they're seeing the nakedness of this country called America, or this corporation. It says, and I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame.
That's what's happening right now.
That's right, that's right. It says, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile and will set thee as a gazing stock. Like when you see, like in the ancient world, when they would catch a woman, you know, committing adultery or something like that, they will put her in the midst of everybody. This is the woman. They'll bring the charges against her and they'll look at her as a gazing stock. That's right now. You're like that adulterous woman that's butt naked, about to get stoned and about to get beat the hell up, beat down and put to death. So that's how the Lord is setting you right now. He's opening up all your wickedness around the whole entire world, the whole entire planet. So when these nations shoot their missiles on you, it's going to be that anger that's in them, that's given to them by the Lord, by revealing the secret things that you've been doing behind closed doors, and all this wickedness that you've been doing, and all this thieving that you've been doing, setting these nations up to take their resources.
A good example is this guy Edward Snowden, and all the revelations that he brought out, you know, which is making America look bad. Good.
You know what, man? For all you dumb bird brain rockhead niggas, you so-called African American people that voted for Obama, he's the one that's going to bring the destruction of America, this country that you love so much. You niggas I'm talking about, you jakes. Okay, Obama just doing what he want to do. Well, he's not really doing what he wants to do. He's under orders.
Doing what the Rothschilds.
He's doing exactly what the Rothschilds want him to do. He said, I don't care about Congress. I'm going in. I don't care about the UN. We going in. So he going to bring this destruction of this goddamn place called America, man.
Yep. Indonesia's President Susilo Bambang attends a meeting with Business 20 and Labor 20 representatives during the G20 summit on September 6, 2013 in St. Petersburg. China has consistently opposed a military solution for the Syrian crisis, joining Russia in its belief that any action must be based on the UN investigation and authorized by the UN Security Council. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Qin Gang told RT at the summit that it is vitally important that any move on Syria be based on the UN investigation, stressing that China is against the use of chemical weapons by any countries or organizations. China and Russia are both appealing to the countries concerned to be serious about the possible consequences of the use of military means without the mandate of the UN Security Council. Quinn added, reminding that recent history has shown that such means can't solve a complicated issue like Syria. Meanwhile, China's Vice President, Minister Zhao Gangyao, or Zhu Gangyao, has warned that a strike would have a negative impact on the global economy and cause a hike in the oil price.
That's what they want. Remember, we were reading about the Massini Pike blueprint. They said that the reason why they're bringing all these different wars is to cause social unrest and to bring to cause economic unrest. You know, because this economic unrest will cause all nations to finally say, you know what, we're sick of these wars. You got to give us some type of solution. What is this solution going to be? And they're going to come out with the New World Order, which is that unpure doctrine of Lucifer.
That's right. They're gonna try to. That's right. Which is that chip? The chip is gonna be. They're gonna be in the process of setting this thing up. But the Most High is not gonna let them fully get it set up. But they're gonna implement the chip, and they're gonna set up the beginning stages of it, man. But the whole about Yahweh Shai ain't gonna let them fully set it up, man.
And that's an example of in the book of Psalms, the 2nd chapter, where it says, "Why leap ye high hills?" The high hills.
Yeah, I just wanted to say what you just said to back up what you said. You got a lot of people on YouTube with this whole situation about Barack Obama wanting to go and attack Syria, right? And then a lot of you are making comments, yeah, this could be it. We can be out of here. We're not going to be out of here because a lot more things have to happen. You can't be jumping to conclusions. I mean, I know you're anxious. You want things to happen. But you know what? A lot more prophecies got to take place before that happens. They got to be at war with Iran. They got to declare war against Iran. And the chip got to be implemented. So if he goes and attack Syria next week or whatever, that don't mean next 2 weeks from now you're going to be out of here in the kingdom. That could be an ongoing war for the next 6 months. And that could lead to the war, Iran getting jumping into that war, and thereby leading, causing Russia and China, because the Russians have ships over there docked in that area. The Chinese have ships over there docked in that area. So this doesn't mean that 2 weeks from now America's going to be destroyed.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're going to be in the kingdom. That doesn't mean that, man. There's a lot more things. You have to look at Iran. And you have to look at the mark of the beast, which is a microchip. And then you have to look at these niggas, these guys that are these false prophets. Because it says in 2nd Ezra, then it shall be known who are my chosen. Because you got guys following Yohana thinking that he's one of the chosen. Or Bubble Eyes or Nate.
That's right. And and that's, see that too, when we was talking about, Elder Gabal said, a lot of you guys in GMS, a lot of you guys lose your faith. You run out of steam because y'all jumping the gun. Then, like Elder Tahar said, 2 weeks from now, when the missiles don't come, then y'all lose. Yeah, we're going to call for an intermission. Yeah, we're back. We're going to jump right back into the point, man. The brother got a scripture about jumping the gun or losing faith, man.
No.
Yeah, gun.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I thought it was on the.
I'll hit that one first, and then I'll come back.
Okay.
Yeah, Con. I got this is just to further back up what the brother said earlier about because they're going to attack Syria, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be out of here. And this is what the Lord said, Matthew 24, verse 6. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And that's what's happening right now. You're hearing about all these wars about to start, and you got some wars that are actually happening. It says, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
But the end is not yet. Like Elder Tahar said, man, you got to watch for the prophecies. And look, I'll tell you what, y'all, you want to know when you're going to know that we're going to be very close, or we're going to be when that chip come, when they actually start, those are the two main things.
You see those chariots?
Yeah, well, when you see the chariots, that you're going to know. But prior to that, when Iran is really engulfed in this war, and in here stateside, when you see people actually being forced to take that chip, when they actually have centers or wherever they're going to have it going on at these actual detention centers or schools or office buildings, and have lines with people injecting them with the chip, and we at the same simultaneously at war with Iran, that's when brothers could say, yo, man, we're going to be out of here. Yeah?
Yeah,
Can I bring this out? Yeah, this right here, basically I took a snapshot of a YouTube, I have the what do you call it, the thumbnails of the different YouTube videos, and this is all centered around this whole Syria U.S. thing, whether the U.S. is going to attack Syria, all right? And this is what it says. I'm going to just read the headlines. It says, Syria, Iran orders attack on U.S. if Obama strikes, okay? Then it says in today's video, AMTV covers a second false flag in Syria and Iran's orders to attack America, all right? This is another one. It says, guy calls, because John McCain had a town hall meeting, and pretty much it was mostly Edomites in there. You Jakes are in a coma, all right? There were pretty much Edomites in there, and they were basically cursing out John McCain. And it says a guy called for John McCain to be arrested and tried for treason. All right. It says AMTV covers a local Prescott man who called for John McCain to be arrested and tried for treason. All right. Next one. It says Syria. McCain guarantees Russia, China, and Iran will not act. He's saying that Russia, China, and Iran are punks. That they're not going to do it. And then he said it. I saw the video. He said it proudly too. All right. This is another one. It says Senator McCain, no retaliation after Syria attack. In other words, if the U.S. decides to keep it down, if the U.S. decides to attack Syria, all right, these other nations like Russia, China, and Iran, they're not going to do anything. All right. I'm going to read that again. Senator McCain, no retaliation after Syria attack. Pop-up politics. Okay. So that's another video. So, I mean, this whole Syria thing and the U.S. Talking about going over there to attack that place, like I said, that's one more step to World War III. That's one more step to Armageddon. That's one more step to the downfall of this society. All right? And this guy McCain, he's showing the pride of himself. You about ready to put that noose around your own neck. And then you got this monkey, you got Curious George, he's looking stupid. But you dumb bird-brained Negroes, you're going to support that nigga, that old Hamite to the end. Like I said, we don't care. You got guys out there talking about, well, GMS and DeHart, they don't care about the 2/3. You goddamn right we don't give a damn about them, man, because they ain't going to make it any goddamn way. The only ones we're concerned about waking up is the elect.
Well, can I say something on that? When did Aria ever teach to give a damn about the 2/3? Aria never taught that. We was taught, you dumb assholes that's talking that shit, you guys hate the 2/3. We always was taught to hate the 2/3. We ain't thinking about the elect, the 1/3. That's what we care about. But I'm just making, where did this thing about caring for the 2/3 come from? I tell you, Satan.
First,
it came from the dark one.
1 Thessalonians 4:13. But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that you sorrow not, even as others which have no hope.
So the scriptures teach not to give a shit about the 2/3. We just backed it up in the scriptures. You ain't supposed to care about the 2/3. The scriptures say the 2/3 gonna be destroyed. So that proved that them guys are false prophets right there. They're just a bunch of abandoned demons, man.
All right, reading on, it says, other members of the
I'm sorry, I just got to throw this one last shot out there. How come Nate ain't bringing out all this stuff we bringing out? How come Nate ain't teaching all this?
I'm gonna tell you why, because he's busy trying to prove to the world that the Hyksos are not Israelites.
He's trying to feed the poor and homeless of the nation of Israel. Other members of the BRICS bloc of emerging economies, Brazil, India, and South Africa, also voiced their firm opposition to the possibility of a U.S.-led military strike. Any action on Syria should be taken within the UN framework and only after the UN releases the results of the chemical weapons investigation. India's Prime Minister Manmohan Singh stressed. While condemning the use of chemical weapons by any party, Singh told G20 leaders that one needs to be certain what has really happened in Syria, according to the Indian Planning Commission Deputy Chairperson Montek Singh Aluwiha, who spoke to reporters at the summit.
So in other words, man, all these other nations are frowning upon America doing this thing, man. Nobody's with this, man. These other nations, India, China, Russia, they're all against this thing, man. They are reprimanding the United States for doing this, man. But They're going to do it any damn way. Why? Because the elites want that.
Isaiah 47:3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen.
All this wickedness by them trying to go in there, because all these other nations, they know that what the United States is doing is unjust. So now all these other, even though they wicked as hell, they damn self, but they say America's real wicked. The lies and the shit they trying to pull off on everybody, man.
South African President Jacob Zuma slammed the idea of a military intervention in Syria on the eve of the summit, saying that one cannot remain silent when one country is being bombed to ashes before our eyes.
That's right. That's their nakedness being lifted up, meaning America, all the wickedness of America, all the other nations in the World Summit is seeing this, and they're saying America, though, that's just a wicked-ass goddamn country, man. And even in that movie, The Butler, the guy Whitaker played, he said, yeah, America, that's the country that likes to point out their finger at everybody else and says they're the ones that's doing wrong, but really, all that wickedness is going on right in their backyard. That's America, man.
Zuma stressed that the UN is the only authority that can intervene military in any country in a speech earlier this week. We don't want the world to be run by individuals, but a collective in the form of the UN. I don't know if people excuse me. I don't know if people who are questioning our position on Syria have an alternative, Zuma said. President Putin on Friday quoted his South African counterpart as saying that the world's smaller countries feel increasingly vulnerable and insecure. Right, because these other countries are seeing if America can do this to Syria, they can do it to their country. You know what's to stop America from doing it to their country? So increasingly, America is becoming the big bully on the block, which everybody wants to kick his ass. You know, and eventually, the big bully on the block, he gets his ass kicked anyway.
He gets humbled. He gets humbled. Eventually, the bully always gets humbled, man.
Well, America is going to get humbled right out of existence.
Yeah, you Edomites, you so-called white people, when y'all in slavery, that's going to be the ultimate humbling, man. When we got y'all in slavery. Because all you Edomites over here, you American Edomites, y'all all going to die in the missiles. Ain't none of y'all going to make it out of here. Just the elites. But the elites don't even live here. The so-called elites, I'm sorry, they don't live here. They don't live in America. And if there are some here, they're going to escape. Scriptures tell you they're going to escape, but they're going to get in slavery. The ones of you American Edomites, y'all going to die in the missiles. Y'all going to go back to the spirit world, and when you are reincarnated through the one Edomites that make it, that's how y'all going to get in slavery. But we're going to get you nonetheless.
This is Isaiah 47:10.
Eventually, America, you Americans are going to be in slavery for that 1,000 years. So that you're going to be humbled, man. That's why the Lord said we got to have y'all in slavery, because that's a humbling process, man, for Esau, man. Because it's going to be a long 1,000 years, and we're going to be kicking your ass, man, and really giving it to you, man.
I got some real quick. Like a case in point, this thing with Zimmerman, right? Now, ever since he got acquitted, which Jake knows that he should have been found guilty, that's called poetic justice, because his wife is divorcing him now. He got a couple of tickets within the last 3 or 4 months, or 2 months. All right, he got a speeding ticket, then he got another ticket from somebody else, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, his wife decides to divorce him. So his world is crumbling down, man. And that goes with hand in hand with America. America's world is crumbling down. Give me real quick Jeremiah 50, verse 9 and 10.
Yeah, that's the spirit, man.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9. It says, "For I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. The arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord." That's right, Chaldea. Right, that represents America today. Verse 11. "Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls, your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed.
That represents Great Britain, because America was birthed out of Great Britain or England.
Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert.
Oh, and the part where it says she have grown fat, America, the so-called white man, y'all stole everything. Y'all stole the resources of all the other countries. You stole this land away from the tribes of Gad and Reuben. Okay? Y'all stole every damn thing. Y'all stole all the gold and got all the gold. It's not even in the Federal Reserve. There ain't no gold in Fort Knox, man. The so-called elites got all that gold, man, that they've been acquiring for all these hundreds of years.
Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Speaking about America, meaning this bitch of a country, America's gonna be destroyed, man. And all these other nations, which they're turning on America right now. Some of these nations were once in good standings with the United States. All right, but now they pretty much they all despise America, man.
And that's a scripture that proves that this country is not going to be inhabited, man. Meaning after the missiles drop, this place is going to be one big fucking desert, man. And you know what? I'm glad, man, that the Most High is going to do that, man, because, man, I ain't going to want to be here. After all this hell that we done caught here, man. First of all, it's polluted with the blood of the saints. The Israelites that were killed here. The Negroes and Native Americans and the other tribes that Esau, the so-called white man, have been murdering here. It tells you that.
Yeah, because your attitude is not, get me 2 Peter's 3 verse 10 on down. Our attitude is not to love white people, all right? You know where I'm getting at. You know, famous Israelite by the name of Degenerate Yohana said we don't hate white people, but God hate white people. He don't want America to be destroyed, man. He don't want the kingdom to come. That dude might be Dayton, man. Yeah, that dude, we're going to start calling you Dayton, man. You Dayton, man. And Nate might be Abiram, and the Bubble Eye might be Corey, all right? That might be y'all, man. You know. Anyway, we finished with that. I want you to get me right quick Job 15 verses 20 to 21, or 20 and 21, and this is more heat, you know, for you devils.
That's right, man. You got it.
Job 15 and 20. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. A dreadful...
Right, the number of years is hidden to the oppressor, meaning you don't know when your time is up. And the handwriting is already on the wall, but you dummies can't see it, man. Go ahead.
A dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity, the destroyer shall come up upon him.
Right, in his prosperity, the destroyer shall come up upon you. Who is the destroyer? The Most High. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, and that's his name. So all you bird brains that say, well, we don't even know if that's the Most High's real name, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai going to destroy all of you, man. And that goes for you, Methuselah, and Mashaba, and Kawakab, okay? And the rest of you guys, man. And Nate, because Nate, you're full of pride, man. All right? Johanna, Bubble Eyes.
He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword.
You waited for of the sword. The sword is talking about the missiles, the ICBMs. Go ahead, y'all got it.
He said, he wandereth abroad for bread, saying, where is it? He knoweth that the day of darkness is ready at his hand. Trouble and anguish shall make him afraid. They shall prevail against him as a king ready to the battle. For he stretcheth out his hand against the Most High, and strength.
Yeah, Esau, the so-called white man. That's why the so-called white man got them space stations they trying to set up. They trying to set up these. Back in the 80s, Reagan had set up that Star Wars program. They trying to come. They trying to increase. They have increased their technology to so-called try to fight against the angels when they come back in those chariots, those UFOs. Esau thinks he gonna fight against the Most High himself and win, which he gonna be crushed, man, badly.
and strengtheneth himself against the Almighty.
That's why they've been coming up with all this technology, because they know, the so-called elites know that those UFOs, or that they know that those UFOs that they make movies and documentaries about are the vessels that the angelic forces fly around in, man. Okay, they know that. That's why the white man has been so big on increasing their technology and their weaponry. They already have laser guns and all that type of shit, because they think they're going to fight against those so-called UFOs when they come back.
Yeah. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 68, verse 16.
And I'm going to tell y'all something. All those expeditions that Esau took up into outer space, Neil Armstrong and all them astronauts, they had documents where them guys actually gave reports that they saw the UFOs, and they saw black men, big black men, come out of those with afros, come out of those vessels or those ships. Okay, so they know who it is and what it is. That's why they've been fighting so hard to bring in that Star Wars program. Back in the 80s, Reagan was really signing off on that big time. Okay, to try to fight against the Lord Yahweh Shah when he come back.
That's right. Psalm 68 and 16.
That's why Obadiah says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Talking about Esau, man. Esau is deceived. This devil thinks he gonna actually defeat the angelic forces, man, of Yahweh Shah.
Why leap ye high hills? This is the hill which the Most High desireth to dwell in. Yea, the Lord will dwell in it forever.
Yeah, like that G20 summit. The word summit means what? A peak of a mountain. So that's all that G20 summit, all them nations coming together and deciding they're going to do this and they're going to do that. That's an example of them leaping. That's an example of them high heels or high hills. Go ahead.
That's right. It says, yea, the Lord.
Okay, no problem, bro.
Yea, the Lord will dwell in it forever. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels.
Man, that's an innumerable amount of chariots. What's that? Them UFOs, them spacecrafts, man. And when they come, they're going to come like locusts, man, upon this place. And when the missiles are dropping, them chariots of the angels, they're going to be shooting laser beams and zapping people. It tells you that in the Apocrypha, man. When it talked about Yahweh Shai, the mountain that he came in, and then it said that when his breath went out, that was talking about the chariot or the ship that Yahweh Shai is going to shoot a giant laser beam out, like that movie Independence Day showed you.
Yeah, well, that's why it tells you in the book of Revelation 1 and 7 that every eye shall see Yahweh Shai. What are they going to see? They're going to see them chariots, because those chariots are going to cover the whole world, all right, on the day that Yahweh Shai comes back. And like you said, them chariots are going to be shooting laser beams at different, targets, military installations. Yeah, like the movie The War of the Worlds, the first one, the original one from the 1950s. Something like that scenario. That's what's going to happen, man.
Independence Day.
Yeah, and for them elites to make that video, or so-called elites, like Elder Ricard says, that shows you they know the truth. All right? They made that They made that movie way back in 1951. And by the way, in that movie, if you get it on VHS, when you pause it, there's a scene where the hero of the movie runs into a church for sanctuary from them chariots attacking the town, and he runs in there, and there's a stained glass window of what looks like Jesus Christ. And do you know what color it is? Black. All right. It's an icon, one of those mosaic icons, and if you pause it, you can clearly see a man with woolly hair, like an afro, and dark skin, and that's supposed to be Jesus Christ, which we know his name is Yahweh Shai. So way back in 1951, they knew, man. The elites know. They know what's going on.
Yeah, like what's his name? Cecil B. DeMille. He made that movie, The Ten Commandments. You're gonna tell me he don't know that those people that he portrayed in the movie were all people of color, man? Okay, they were people of color, brown-skinned people, so-called blacks, Native Americans, and so-called what you call blacks, Native American, and Hispanic. Those were the 12 tribes, man, and he knew that.
Yeah, to back up what you were just saying about Cecil B. DeMille, he had a number of books. He had the Bible, he had when the opening of the movie, the intro of the movie, they said that these are the books that we use to get the records. They mentioned the Josephus. They mentioned the Philo. That was another book. And they mentioned a couple other books, and then they mentioned the main book, which is the Holy Scriptures. Now, in the movie, he had Charlton Heston, so-called Jew, play Moses, the lead character, but he had Joshua, which was the second in command. He was a leader after Moses had passed. He was from the tribe of Ephraim, and they got an actor that looked just like an Ephraimite. So they put a little truth in there. But Esau is not the one to bring out the whole truth. Okay?
That's right. He's the devil. They're going to lie to you. That's why they got Heston. And then even the damn Egyptians were white people with copper tone on, man. Okay?
All right, going back to the article, it says President Putin on Friday quoted his South African counterpart as saying that the world's smaller countries feel increasingly vulnerable and insecure, with the notion that a more powerful nation can at any time and at its own discretion use force against them. In this regard, a military strike outside of the UN Security Council resolution would set a dangerous precedent, Putin warned. The use of force on a sovereign state is only possible if it is done for self-defense. And as we know, Syria is not attacking the U.S. or under a decision made by the UN Security Council. As one participant in our discussion said, those who act otherwise put themselves outside of the law, Putin said.
Right. Now, that's beautiful that Putin said that, because the so-called president of the United States, which is a big joke, is Barack Obama. Now, it's a known fact that he's a constitutional lawyer. That means he specializes in the Constitution. He deals with constitutional issues. So a first-year law student knows that that's clearly unconstitutional. Because, number one, Congress declares war because they represent the masses of the people. And number two, when you read about the Navy, all right, and you read about standing armies for no more than 2 years, okay, because you got a standing army in this country, the U.S. Army is not supposed to be an ongoing army. It's supposed to be assembled from the militia, which are men from the ages of 18 to 25. That's why they draft you at the age of 18. They have you register at 17 so they can draft you at the age of 18 if there's a draft, because that represents the militia. Any male of American citizenship or about to be American citizen or wants to be American citizen and they're a resident in this country from the ages of 18 to 25, that's why they draft you from those years, because that goes back to militia. And that militia is formed into an army, a standing army for no more than 2 years, because they said a war wouldn't last no more than 2 years. All right? Now, the military and the Navy, that's the only thing that's standing is the Navy. All right? The only time they're able to attack another nation is to repel the attack from that other nation. In other words, it's defense. You're not supposed to be the aggressor. You can't say, well, did you see all those kids that were killed by that sarin gas? We got to do something about that. But is that constitutional? No, it's not constitutional. And Barack Obama knows that. But like I said earlier, the reason why they're doing that is because the Most High is putting it in their spirit to go over there to the Middle East. And if this thing all quiets down, guess what? It's going to be built back up. Because we're in that time now. Now, give me that scripture in Peter's. Because this is the time that this is the mindset that we're supposed to be in. We're not supposed to be in a mindset as to whether the Hebrew Israelites were the Hyksos. We ain't in that time set, man.
2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up.
I mean, it's all this right here. It's talking about America when the missiles hit America, when the climax of this thing comes. All this shit you see here, these buildings, this Cloisters Museum, that new World Trade Center building they got, that's all going to get burnt up.
Yeah, they built that in just enough time to have it knocked down.
The Sears Tower in Chicago, that's coming down. The Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, that's coming down. It's all going to melt, man. Everything in America that you know is going to be gone, man. Walt Disney World, Walt Disneyland Land, Universal Studios, Busch Gardens, Six Flags, that's all going up, man.
It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be?
That, like Elder Tahar said, you're supposed to be teaching about that, because we coming into that time. That's what the scriptures are saying, man. So Nate, teach about what about depression? If you deal with bouts of depression, what they got to do with that?
Look, man, it tells you in 1 Corinthians, man. 1 Corinthians 7th chapter. All right? Matter of fact, get me that too. You know what I want. I believe it's the 29th verse. Because Paul covered that. If you depress, you can't let that depression bring you down, man.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians 7 and 29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none, and they that weep as though they wept not.
That's depression, man. If you're depressed, you got to fight through that depression. You got to keep going, man.
Right.
Not be teaching people about the Israelites are not the Hyksos. All right? It said, what manner of person? Read that again in Peter's.
Second.
I'll say this real quick, Elder Tahar, because it's, first of all, it's a demon. You got to rebuke it. That depression demon will get on you. Like Elder Tahar said years ago one time, you ain't got time to be depressed, man. It's a demon. You got to rebuke it. You got to rebuke it and just keep on moving, man.
Even in the movie, what's that one? The Predator with this guy. What's the guy?
Arnold.
Not Arnold. No. He said, I ain't got time to breathe.
Ventura.
Ventura said that because he got cut, right? And then a shot or something, and he was bleeding. So somebody said, you're bleeding over there. And he said, he spit out some chewing tobacco and said, I ain't got time to bleed. So we ain't got time to be depressed, man. Hey, if you're depressed, put up a video.
That's right.
Yeah,
do a show. Go out on the highways and byways, man.
That'll cure depression.
That'll cure your depression, man. Nigga, you supposed to be depressed.
That's right.
That's right. You're supposed to be depressed.
Pressed down. We're being pressed down.
Well, we in hell.
Well, the very word, if I may, the very word depression, what does it mean? To be pressed upon. We're being pressed upon our enemies.
Why you think we're here, man? Babylon was set up to put Jake in slavery. This place was not built for comfort, man. You're supposed to be depressed. If you wasn't depressed, that means the Most High ain't doing his job.
Right.
All right?
That's right. We in slavery. In slavery, them Jakes.
Supposed to be. That's the reason why people like Esau, when he goes in the kingdom, he's going to be depressed.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's going to get a foot in his ass.
He's gonna be pressed down.
He going to be pressed down.
That's right.
Okay?
Literally.
You ain't going to see no crackers getting whipped and laughing about it.
That's right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, this is a quick precept. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 3. Sorrow is better than laughter.
That's right. So the scripture said depression is better than laughing, because if you laughing, you're not in the right spirit. If you in this folly, jolly spirit, then you ain't in the right spirit, man. You're supposed to be in sorrow. Why? The devil is ruling over us. You got homosexuals and lesbians running around with kids.
Oh, Ezekiel 9:4.
Ezekiel.
That's depressing.
That's right.
Sigh and cry.
That sigh, that cry.
Hold up. Sighing and crying is not that depressing, man. Are you supposed to pull out some pill out the medicine cabinet and take it? Because the way this clown Nate brought out that lesson was like he was gonna sell you some pills.
Yeah.
You know, hey, if you buy these pills and take one, it'll take away your depression.
Yeah, man. Well, you got the scripture right here real quick?
You need to show. You need to let your woman watch that episode because she's depressed. She's depressed with you. She said she hates you. Okay, she's depressed. So let her see that video, man.
Yeah, man. We're gonna read this real quick.
Ezekiel chapter 9 verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh, and that cry.
The men that are depressed from being in hell under this damn devil.
That's right. That's right.
That sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Yeah, well, it's like I said a minute ago, you got to look at the faggots, lesbians. We saw 2 faggots a minute ago with a little kid. They're letting they'll take your kids from you and let 2 faggots adopt your kids and raise your kids, man. Or 2 lesbians adopt your kid and raise your kid. Just looking at the white man makes you depressed, man.
Yep. A little more. Oh, Ecclesiastes 7:7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
A wise man. So if a man that's depressed, that's a wise guy. That's a man that's wise. So Nate, you going off.
Oppression, depression.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, same thing, man.
Let me just finish this real quick.
You guys gotta learn. You Nate, you gotta learn the meaning of your words.
That's right. Let me just finish this real quick. Right, back in the third verse. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better.
Depression, your heart meaning your spirit. Meaning it's better for your spirit to be depressed because we in hell. And when you depressed, you more so meditate upon the scriptures, and it makes you more so meditate upon Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. It brings you, It brings you closer to the Heavenly Father by being depressed. You pray more. And you say, Lord, when are you going to get us out of here?
Yeah, in the 23rd Psalms, all right, and that's a famous psalm among Jake. What did King David say? That was a psalm of being depressed. He said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. All right?
That's right, man. So you know what? Well, it's already established, Nate, you ain't in the right spirit, man. The Spirit of the Lord ain't dealing with you. The Heavenly Father ain't dealing with you, man. Satan is your master, man.
2 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 10. For godly sorrow worketh repentance to salvation.
Godly sorrow. See, us, we're depressed. You damn right, man. That's a godly sorrow. Meaning the Most High is dealing with us because we know that this place is wicked and we're not happy. You ain't supposed to be happy, man. The only thing that's supposed to make you happy is doing the work of the Lord. Like the Most High told Paul, my grace is sufficient enough.
Hey, let me say this here. See, the Most High designed everything, man. He's a great director, okay? He's a great producer, all right? He made this movie, all right? Now, the way he brought us over here to America was in cargo slave ships. He didn't bring us over here on a fucking Queen Mary cruise, man. Where you got guys, you know, hey, would you like to have another martini? Isaac from the love boat making you drinks and whatnot, man. Cocktails and everything. There's music being playing in the background and shit, man. Hors d'oeuvres being served. That didn't happen in the slave ships, man. That was designed to depress you and to punish you, man. Okay? And nigga, you ain't got no remedy for depression, man. Because if you did, you would have gave it to your wife.
Yeah, man. You need to teach her.
Hey, and she wouldn't be contemplating on killing your ass.
Yeah, man. That's why your ass kicked Barack Shah out, because his old lady spilled the beans, man.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Now, that's another thing. That's what you get for having... See, that'll never happen in GMS because we ain't got no woman around in the first goddamn place. And if a man did that, guess what? We're going to show his ass the door. The hard way, all right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We don't. Yeah. That's right. Back to the article. It says defending a U.S.-led strike on Syria. On the other hand, the U.S. President Barack Obama stressed that the situation in Syria might set a dangerous precedent for the world. During his speech, Friday speech at the G20 summit, Obama said his goal and America's responsibility was to maintain international norms on the banning the use of chemical weapons.
And then furthermore, who made America the big goddamn police? It's America's job. Who made you the goddamn who made you the hall monitor, man? Who the hell made America the hall monitor, man?
That's why the scriptures say. That's why the scriptures mentioned about America being more stout than his fellows. What is that in the book of Daniel?
Daniel 7.
Yeah, Daniel the 7th chapter. It's talking about America. That's a clear example of America's stoutness. All right. And by the way, right? Let me read this again. It says, "And America's responsibility was to maintain international norms on the banning the use of chemical weapons." Here's a hypocrisy, because every day we're being bombarded by what? Chemtrails, right? Now, chemtrails is a chemical weapon. It's designed...
GMO foods.
Right. GMO foods is another example. But the chemtrails, right, is designed to deplete your immune system.
Slow kill.
A slow kill, right? So that's a chemical weapon. So who's talking about that? But all of a sudden, America got to go and invade Syria because Syria is bombing their people with chemical weapons. You see the hypocrisy, man? But that's why we call him the devil. That's why the Lord calls him the devil. The Bible calls him the devil, because the word devil means deceiver, man. And you being deceived by this so-called white man's hypocrisy. Like Elder Ricard mentioned about the movie The Butler.
Yeah.
You go see that movie and you'll see hypocrisy, man. And if you can't see it, then you're fucking blind, all right? If you can't see it, then you're fucking blind. If you go see that movie, The Butler, you will see the so-called white man's hypocrisy.
And Elysium, too. There's another movie with Matt Damon. Like Elder Dawes said about a week or so ago, every movie that's coming out now, it shows so-called white people in a bad light, man.
Can I say this? Then there's another movie, and the Most High is making this happen, man. There's another movie coming out in October. It was supposed to be released in December, but they're gonna supposedly release it in October. I think mid-October, and that's called 12 Years a Slave. All right, and I forget the guy's name. What was his name? What was his name? North Up.
Oh, Solomon North.
Solomon North Up. And this is a true story of how this guy was a freeborn a black man, a so-called African American, excuse me, and he was tricked into being led back into slavery, and he was a slave for 12 years. So that movie's coming out, and as soon as it comes out, I might even catch the goddamn premiere on Wednesday night, man. Yeah. If I got to go around them damn crackers and shit. Matter of fact, I am going to see it around crackers, because you niggas don't know how to act any goddamn way.
That's right.
Okay? You throwing popcorn at the theater, you talking shit.
Oh, hell no, you can't.
You know, you got to go with a good movie. You got to go. I hate to say this, but you got to go around them damn crackers, man. They might be devils, but at least they're quiet in the damn theater. But you know what? I'm gonna see that movie when it comes out, and then when I see the movie that weekend, we're gonna do a show on it. Okay?
That's right, gun. Oh, you know what I think that is? You know what I think that movie? I think that that's a true story. I think it's a true story, but that's also a remake of a movie that came out with Avery Brooks. That movie's already out. I forgot the name of that one. With Avery Brooks.
Odyssey of Solomon Northrop.
Yeah.
I think it's called The Odyssey of Solomon Northrop.
Yeah, John Saxon is in it. Avery Brooks, that old bald-head Jake from the 80s, is to play on Spencer for Hire. Hawk. He did the original movie. That they had to make that like maybe in the early 80s. Yeah. And it's a damn the one with Avery Brooks is good. That's a damn good movie. It showed you straight up what happened to this guy. And eventually, toward the end of the movie, he got free, but he spent 12 years in slavery, man. And this was prior to the Civil War.
Yeah.
And by the way, he had a wife and family and all that. He was from upstate New York, the guy, Solomon. His damn kids grew up. By the time he got back home to upstate New York, after being in slavery, his kids were grown up and shit. His wife then popped other men, you know?
You devils, you got a lot to pay for, man. Anyway, reading on, it says, banning the use of chemical weapons, saying he wanted the enforcement to be real. He stressed that if the international community does not act, the norms will begin to unravel. Obama then seemingly downplayed the role of the UN Security Council, saying it can end up as a barrier to acting on behalf of the international norms and international law. The U.S. has stated that it has high confidence that the Syrian President Bashar Assad was behind the alleged chemical weapons attack, and that Washington has evidence proving it, with U.S. officials speculating on Assad's capabilities for such an attack. However, neither Russia nor the UN found such reasoning to be satisfactory. U.S. President Barack Obama, seeking international support for a strike against Syria at the G20 summit, Obama openly brought up the issue of both bilateral meetings and in discussions on the summit sidelines.
You know something, man? The Most High, Yahweh Shai, he gonna destroy this damn G20 summit too. When we ruling, there ain't gonna be no G20 summit. It's gonna be a dictatorship, man. Under Yahweh Shai, we just gonna rule under the Most High and Yahweh Shai. We the 144,000, the nation of Israel gonna rule the planet with an iron rod. You gonna do what we say, or we gonna kick your ass.
We're going to kick your ass anyway.
We're going to kick your ass any damn way.
Whether you do what we say or not, we're going to kick your ass anyway, just for the joy of kicking your ass. Because there's joy in kicking ass. What is it?
Kicking ass is good.
Kicking ass is very
therapeutic.
I mean, you so-called white people, man, I be watching documentaries, man. Y'all did a lot of shit to the Israelites, man, on this land, well, all over the world. But primarily here in America, it's a lot of bloodshed, a lot of rape. You would just roll up on a so-called black woman when you was ruling back here during slavery, just rape her. You roll up on a Native American woman and just have your way with them. Okay, you then we're going to have our way with your woman, man.
Well, they showed you that in the movie The Butler, the very first scene. You know, well, like we say, we don't want to give away the movie, but don't be lazy and don't be cheap. Go see the movie, man.
Yeah, what's it, Mariah Scary? That was her, right?
Yep, Revelation 2:25. But that which you have already hold fast till I come. And he that...
Well, them guys ain't holding fast to what they were given. It said that, what's that? The knowledge. Yep, the oil. The name of the Lord. You guys then cast it up. Yahweh Shai says keep what they're starting with his name.
They never had it to begin.
Because you never had it, man. So what's going to happen to y'all when Yahweh Shai come, man?
And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end.
What's the works? The works is keeping the name and teaching in that name. Okay? We got the ones of us that continue to do what we supposed to do, like the scripture said, but continue down in the things which thou hast learned. You see?
To him will I give power over the nations.
That's right. Ain't gonna be no G20 summit.
Yeah.
We gonna be the dictators on the planet Earth over everybody, man.
Why does it say continue down the things which thou hast learned? Because there's going to come a time when you're going to have confusion. You're going to have guys going off, which we've seen it now, of what they've learned, turning away from what they've learned and turning on to bullshit. So that's why, that's why it is written, continue down the things which thou hast learned. Which a good example of that is GMS, man. All right, we're keeping it back to the old way of Abba Bivens, of King Marshall, Elder Ariah. You know, of course, there's been new revelations along the way, but basically the theme is keeping it back to the old way, man. We've continued in the things which we've learned.
Which is the name. Because King Marshall and High Priest Ariah, they taught us the name. They taught us the name. When we first came into the school back in the 1990s and in the 80s, you were taught the name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. When I first came in the truth, that's what I was taught. And I always stuck with that, man. Because out here in this damn world, when you catching hell, and I done been in situations, I called upon that. I still, to this, I never stopped.
You delivered too.
And I was delivered, man. And those other, we were delivered, man. Right now, I call upon that name almost every other second, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's all we got. These guys that are trying to delete the name, those are real demons, man. Them guys are demons, man. Who do they call upon, man? Esau.
Yep. Well, Caesar boys.
Yeah.
It says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my father.
See, so that means like if you take a solid iron pipe, and you take one of them clay pots, and that thing is gonna shatter. That's gonna be the skull of you other nations, man. Primarily Esau, man. You just gonna get beat up every day, man.
Yep, that's it.
And we're going to be popping your women. And you guys talking about popping white women. We're going to be popping the hell out the white women in the kingdom, man. Big time, man. Yeah, that's right. We pop them now if we want to. Oh, now they gonna take that. They gonna take that one segment. They're gonna take that and look, we pop white women now. We pop white women now. I can already see it, man. You heard this, nigga.
Yeah, well, maybe they're mad. Well, anyway, seeking you're mad because you can't get white women because you're a bunch of jungle bunnies, man. Seeking,
gonna loop that too.
Yeah.
Guys are racist.
Yeah, seeking international support for a strike against Syria at the G20 summit. Obama openly brought up the issue at both bilateral meetings and in discussions of the summit sidelines. The U.S. president's conclusions on the global opinion contradicted that of President Putin's. I would say that the majority of the room is comfortable with our conclusion that the Assad government is responsible for their chemical weapons use. Obviously, this is disputed by President Putin. Readers last night, I'm confident that you'd get a majority who said it's most likely we are confident that the Assad regime used them, Obama said. Hey, what the Assad government should do is bring charges against America for using chemtrails.
Yep.
You know?
GMO food. Man, do you know the shit, man? You know the shit that we eating out here, man? Right there in the so-called ghettos throughout this country where Israel live, you got these supermarkets, primarily Price Right. That's a warehouse of death, man.
Hey, well, this guy Jehudi, I think his name is. He calls it a super casket. You call it a supermarket. He calls it a super casket, which is accurate. Is an accurate description. Nothing but pure chemical junk in those so-called supermarkets. And forget about the meat. All right. Forget about the meat.
Man, you go on Price Right, man.
Want to call it?
Man, don't you? Man, I hope you don't buy meat at Price Right. But forget about the meat. When you go on the Price, they got them. Yeah, man, they got that. They got that. What's them things? They got them oodles and noodles.
Ramen noodles.
That's them, but that's a pack of sodium, man.
That's chemical weapon.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a chemical weapon. That's a chemical weapon. But anyway, hey, why don't the G20 summit talk about that, man? Oodles and noodles. That's a chemical weapon. Just as the G20 summit was closing up, the White House promptly published a joint statement signed by the leaders and representatives of 11 nations, 10 of whom are G20 members. The signees included Australia, Canada, France, Italy, Japan, Republic of Korea, Saudi Arabia, Spain, Turkey, the United Kingdom, and the United States. The statement condemned in the strongest terms the horrific chemical weapons attack in the suburbs of Damascus on August 21st, adding that evidence clearly points to the Syrian government being responsible for the attack. It called for a strong international response to this grave violation of the world's rules.
I just want to say something. Sent y'all back into this. This war, or this civil war, goes back, I think last week I said a year and a half. It actually goes back 2 years. Show you how fast time flies. Now, to a record to date, from 2 years ago, there's been over 100,000 people in Syria that have been killed. So now here this monkey. All right, give me the picture of the monkey, man. Where's the monkey at? This monkey right here, he's all upset. He's losing sleep over the fact that they gas 1,400 people, which we don't even know if that's true. We do have an idea that from the starting point of that civil war, there was over 100,000 people killed. All right, and so it doesn't make sense for this guy to get into a uproar about 1,400 people. You know, 1,400 people, and they're saying that they're getting the evidence that sarin gas was used, but they're not giving you the evidence who used the sarin gas. Right. Okay.
This is a nice round number too. 1,400
killers.
That's right. But this guy, see, that's why they put this monkey up in here, man. That's why they put this monkey up in here. So because the white man is played out. They know they wasn't going to stand for the next white man to come up in office.
Right.
Everybody done woke up to the fact that the white man's a devil.
Right.
So they brought this monkey up there, and then they're starting to see that this guy's a damn devil.
Yeah. Right.
A black devil.
Yeah, it was ripe to bring in a black man, and a so-called black man in office. Okay, go ahead.
This is Daniel.
Yeah, you're looking at the monkey now.
Daniel chapter 7 verse 19. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows.
You seen the example of Obama, all the statements he made at the G20 summit, that America is ready to go to war against Syria because Syria is bombing their people with chemical weapons. That's an example of the scripture, you know?
Yeah, America, the wickedness of that's a wicked beast, man.
Isaiah 34:1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth. Yeah, can you get this Isaiah 34? Because
Yeah, okay. We're gonna jump over to the next Bible. Then after that, we're gonna wrap it up with this.
Come on, Salaki.
Isaiah 34:1.
Yep. Isaiah 34:1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies.
That's right, over there in the valley of Jehoshaphat in the Middle East. That's where this whole thing is being stirred up. That's why they're having this G20 summit. All the nations are coming together to that one place. The Lord is bringing them there to serve them, man.
Yep. So
Is that it? So with that, we're going to close up, man. So for you brothers out there, keep watching this situation because it's going to build up, man, but it's a process. Whenever the Lord bring it, he going to bring it. But keep watching this situation like Elder Tahar said. Even if it calm down, at some point it's going to spark up and it's going to pop off, man. So with that, this is another edition of Elders of GMS on location at the Cloisters Museum. Shalom.